Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Kevin Conrad. He is the founder of the Coalition for Rainforest Nations. We're here to discuss measuring the success of progress in combating climate change and the role technology plays in the carbon markets. Kevin, it is great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Great to be here, Jill.
All right, you got it. Tell us about the CFRN and what its mission is.
Well, we started about 20 years ago, and the whole idea was deforestation, particularly in the tropics, was raging, and there wasn't really a global strategy to reverse it. So we started with countries, or a group of about 50 countries, and we negotiate together to set up the rules for carbon markets and finance to reverse deforestation.
How do you balance the economic needs of rainforest nations with the urgency for conservation of their resources?
Well, look, that's the challenge, right? So what's driving deforestation is business. We are asking for wood that we use in our furniture. We're asking for agricultural products. And in tropical countries, that means they've got to deforest in order to provide that. So it's really, you can classify those as market failures. So what we're trying to do is value ecosystem services in a manner that overcomes the opportunity costs that you have by not deforesting and doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, do you feel that the current mechanisms such as carbon markets and climate financing are sufficient to meet the challenges that your nation partners face?
Well, the answer is no. If you look today, voluntary markets they cover about 1% of global emissions, and they mobilized, I think it was something like 750 million last year. We need something between 300 to 500 billion per year to actually reverse deforestation. Now, can carbon markets get there? I think they can if we get away from the voluntary notion. We need to regulate carbon, we need to price carbon, and we need to transition. We've got a step change here if carbon markets are going to work.
Mm-hmm. And how can corporations in the finance sector engage with the Paris Agreement now to buy carbon credits?
Well, in the last COP, we finally got the famous Article 6 rule set done. So now we have a system for ITMOs. These are internationally transferable mitigation outcomes. So this is a carbon credit. This part of the global accounting system meets all the global standards. And now companies can start to engage. We're just seeing supply come into the market.
Yeah, and I think the key question is, how do you measure the success of the coalition's progress in combating climate change? Is there a way to quantify that?
We tend to leave other people to do that. And so the UNFCCC has independently verified the work that the mechanism we started in the Paris Agreement has achieved. We've reduced about 11.6 gigatons, so that's billion tons of emissions, way bigger than current carbon markets. The other way to look at it is the IPCC tracks emissions generally. And since we started our mechanism, emissions from deforestation has been trending down, while emissions from fossil fuels is still trending up. So in the forest, we're directionally headed where we need to be, and we've really got to scale up renewable energy as well.
Right. So when thinking about the carbon markets, what role does technology play assisting with nations to issue and transfer credits, such as the REDD+ credit issued by your nations?
Yep. Technology is critical to build trust, and I say that from, I guess, two perspectives. Perspective number one is we're using satellite imagery to build trust in what's happening with the changes in the land. So that builds trust, and the better we can improve that technology, the more confident we'll be that what we're doing is working. The other is, as we create markets, we need registries, we need trading platforms, and technology is critical there. So I think without technology, this scale up that we need to see would go much slower. If we can get that technology heading directionally the right way, we've got a good chance.
So, Kevin, what lies ahead for the coalition? Can we expect to see a significant growth in credit issuance by your nation partners? Any other initiatives that we should be aware of?
Yeah, you're seeing now countries going through the rigorous sort of Article 5 and Article 6 process. There's 100 things they have to do literally in order to get their credits verified. We're also working, there's a process, it's called the 1.3 trillion roadmap from Baku to Belém, which is trying to scale up climate finance generally, and we're active in that as well. So scaling up markets and using other public money to de-risk, and other ways to also use private finance to help us with this transition.
All right, Kevin, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at